Hey y'all, it's Cassie. Welcome back to Sermons for a Revolution. Each week I answer questions about how you can heal yourself so that together we can heal the world. This week's question comes from a woman who had an abortion, and she wants to know how to feel good about herself around unsupportive people. So the question is, how can you maintain a positive self-image when people around you are bombarding you with guilt? How do you deal with people who are anti-abortion and nasty about it? I think that everybody can relate to this question, because who among us does not know what it's like to feel criticized or judged and bombarded with guilt? I mean, I think that's part of the human experience, right? But this question really resonated with me because I have had an abortion. And so I know what it's like to live in the world after that. And I wanted more than self-respect after my abortion. I wanted to, and I wanted more than just to be able to live among people who disagree with me. I wanted to feel connected to those people. So what I've had to do in my life is to find a way to feel connected to people who want to make me feel guilty. And I'll tell you exactly how I did it using principles from A Course in Miracles. But first, before we go deeper, it's worth pointing out a couple of facts. The number one fact is that your self-worth is a permanent state. It can't be damaged or destroyed. It can't be changed. Just remember that. You were born complete, safe, whole, and loved. And nothing and no one and no experience can ever take that away from you. And don't let anybody tell you it can. Okay, just shut that down. Number two, most of these people who have this anti-abortion thing are saying that it's from the Bible. Well, Jesus never said the word abortion. I am at Harvard Divinity School, and I've studied with some of the world scholars on Christianity and the words of Jesus. And it's clear that Jesus existed, but he did not say the word abortion. Then there's a book called A Course in Miracles that was reportedly dictated by Jesus to a terrified atheist scholar at Columbia University. And that book says absolutely nothing about abortion either. What these books do talk about is love. So sometimes we still feel affected and our self-esteem takes a hit. So we're not going to just step over that and just say it's their problem. We're really going to heal ourselves from within. So what's the solution? The solution is revenge. I'm kidding. It's not revenge. You know the solution. It's forgiveness. And I know that it's self-forgiveness, and it's forgiving your sisters and brothers who hurt you. And I know that word, people are like, fuck forgiveness. And I totally get fuck forgiveness. I really do. But we're going to talk about how the fuck you actually forgive, because nobody really talks about how you do it. Contrary to popular belief, it is usually not effective just to tell somebody how they hurt us. That can usually turn into a total shit show, and we often leave feeling worse, and it leads to these long conversations, and then we hug, and then we still feel kind of weird about it afterward. That's the history of those conversations. Or at the very least, we start avoiding Aunt Gertrude or whoever it is that makes us feel judged, right? So a popular tactic when someone yells anti-abortion rhetoric at us or just has this judgment is to kind of go apeshit on feminist Twitter or wherever we can release that. We just go apeshit, right? And we're just like, fuck that, fuck those people. Let's pull back from that, because you can find a ton of social support. You can get those likes and retweets never, and yeah, it's really fun and it is satisfying in the short term, but it won't make you free forever. So we've just got to go much deeper than that reactive way of dealing with haters. According to the Course in Miracles, the reason our self-image goes negative when other people criticize us is not because of what they said or what they did, but because of the way that we reacted with our thoughts. So it's all about the mind, and it's all about how our minds react. The Course tells us, in defenselessness, my safety lies. That's one of my favorite lines from the Course. In defenselessness, my safety lies. Judging and guilting others is an act of fear. So we know that people are coming at us with fear when they come from that place. The first page of the Course says, this Course can be summed up very simply in this way. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. In other words, only love is real. Only love is real. So literally, on a metaphysical level, what they're saying is not real. It's not even happening. But the thing is that God doesn't condemn them either. That's the thing. Kind of sucks, right? It's no, but be on my side at least. I'm gonna, but no, God doesn't condemn them either. So you can think of yourself like the ego thinks of you, and that's the defensive, the small, the offended, scared little self. Or you can think of yourself like God knows you, and that's just a total badass of divinity. So I really hope that you will step in to that role. And here's how to maintain, and that's being with God. That's thinking with God. So this is how to maintain a positive self-image step by step to get to forgiveness, because that forgiveness is going to get you to that place where you're like, those fuckers can't touch me. I love those fuckers. You know, they can't do anything to me. Here's the exact process to get you back. Now, if you want like the whole forgiveness package, just do A Course in Miracles. Do the workbook, okay? But here's a process that can get you back. And I'm going to lead you through this, and it might feel a little uncomfortable, maybe even a little bit overly spiritual, but just stick with it if you can, okay? So it's my experience that when my self-esteem feels banged up based on someone's judgment or criticism, it's because part of me, maybe deep, deep down that I don't even want to admit, is afraid that something about what they're saying is right. When we've had an abortion, even if we don't regret it, we may secretly feel that we made some error along the way. Perhaps we were careless with protection, or we withheld the information from someone we love. We've always felt guilty about that. Or perhaps you do think it was a mistake that you had an abortion, and that's okay too. What the Course would say is that just to atone in your heart for any mistake you feel you've made, and it will be corrected right then. The purpose of atoning is not to make yourself feel bad, it's actually to be free of guilt, okay? Guilt is hell, so let's just get you out of hell first. They can't hurt you if you have no guilt, if you have no inner guilt that you've brought to yourself. So close your eyes right now and just atone in your heart for any mistakes you feel you've made. And these are any mistakes you feel you've made, not mistakes other people feel you've made. And this is completely between you and God, the goddess, the universe, whoever makes you feel whole and complete. And you are restored right now to your wholeness. And the Course goes on to say, forgiveness is the great need of this world, but that is because it is a world of illusions. Those who forgive, this is kind of a long one, those who forgive are thus releasing themselves from illusions, while those who withhold forgiveness are binding themselves to them. So we're gonna get unbound from illusions by doing this. And it says, fear condemns, love forgives. You have forgiven them entirely or not at all. So let's just forgive these people entirely, okay, so that you can be completely done after watching this video. Close your eyes and say, God is the love with which I forgive you, and then say their name. And just say it out loud. Say the name of the person or institution or the group you want to forgive. And say it for every single person who comes to mind, even if you don't know why you thought of them in this context, even if it makes no sense to you at all. Then for 5 minutes, like when we end this video, for 5 minutes, say, God is the love with which I forgive myself. God is the love with which I forgive myself. And I'm not talking about some crazy God in the sky. I hope it's clear by now. I'm really talking about the God from within, this like powerful, badass source of love. So if you want to restore your connection with the person that you feel offended by, you can make a phone call that goes something like this. When you've been posting those anti-abortion Facebook posts, I've told myself that you don't respect me and that you can't hear me, and then I'll have to spend the rest of my life fighting for a positive self-image. I've told myself this story. And this story, I told myself, made me feel disconnected and ashamed and small. So I wanted to tell you, I'm calling to tell you that I'm giving up that story. And I want to be connected, and I want to feel worthy and respected. Then have compassion for anybody who condemns you, because in truth, they can only condemn themselves. That is the truth of it. Every time they condemn you, they're only condemning themselves. They need self-forgiveness just as much as anybody else. And once you've forgiven them, here's the thing, you don't have to go have dinner with them or go on a cruise with them. You can just stay away from them as much as possible, unless you live with them, in which case you're going to need to pray a lot. Don't stand by the fire and complain that it's hot, though. Do take responsibility for everything that you can. And you have a right to stand up for what you believe in. So go create human rights. If that's what you care about in this context especially, go create human rights. And use your voice. And you will have far more power if you bring in metaphysical principles into the physical world. So keep God at the center of your revolution. You're standing for all of your sisters' needs. And you have no power on the sides. All of the power is on the bridge. So your spiritual experiment for this week is to pick out someone you think judges you, hurts you, or hurts your positive self-image. And do this exercise. Practice this exercise every single day this week. Watch the video as many times as you need to. be sure to pick up a copy of my book. It's called May Cause Love, and read the story. I went to a retreat for people healing after abortion. It was run by anti-abortion picketers. Well, that's what I found out when I got there. So there's a story in there that you can read about my experience. I have very close experience with this. I really do get it. And I care about you and I love you. And let's cause some love, my friends. We are getting together to get 2 copies of my book into every single women's prison, shelter, and rehab in the United States and Canada. And if you'd like to pitch in, go over to my website and just check it out. You can visit KassiUnderwood.com/Let's Cause Love. And finally, if you've got a question you'd like me to answer, head on over to my website and just, there should be a web page for, I don't know what's going on over there, for this YouTube channel, and just fill out the form and send the question over and I'll answer it on this channel. I love you all. See you next week.